Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Ladybug Lotus, and I'm coming on today as AKA the Self-Love Spiritualist. Alright, to talk about some self-love stuff. I'm always messing with my hair when I'm looking at myself. Sorry. Today is May the 24th. Okay, look, I did the calculations for the day. It's and based on the date, and what I like to refer to as using spiritual numerology. Okay, so then that gave us today with a number of 16 and 16 being reduced to 7 because of the 1 and the 6. I'm gonna let y'all know something. I have been getting into I've been being intuitively led to look more into the meanings of the tarot cards and the sequence itself and the journey, because what I've been getting intuitively is that there's been, not new, these aren't new attacks, but some attacks, or attacks, and like, what is that? My camera is acting crazy. Some attacks and like spiritual forces that have been being sent out or activated in order to slow down or intervene on the progress of awakening for many people. It's happening with many people, right, across the world. And what's funny, crazy about this is this type of awakening has begun for me in the past, and then I would get swept back into this religious mind state and religious mindset and start feeling bad and ashamed for things that I was beginning to like accept and learn about and be curious, and even just be curious about. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that is a control situation. You should never feel ashamed for being curious about something, like sincerely, genuinely curious about something. Okay, that's a youthful trait. It's a trait of our youth, of childhood, of childlikeness, which is going to be also the covering the topic centering my talk on self-love today. So I love how that just worked. It's self right in right there. But yeah, like in the past I have like begun to awaken, right? And then found myself being swept up, like but unknowingly, just thinking, just going through the process, and then being like, man, this stuff ain't right. This stuff ain't true. This stuff ain't real. This stuff ain't righteous. This stuff is, anti-Jesus. I'm gonna say anti-Jesus, not anti-Christianity. I'm not about the religion. I'm about the message and about the actual root of the change. I'm just not doing the control. I'm not doing the dogma no more. I'm not doing the what would you call it, like it's like a caging approach. People want to put people in cages, and I've been having these oh man, it's been a lot going on with, like, spiritually, energetically. I've been having these revelations come through. Like, growing up, there was a bird cage kept in my house. Not mine. It was my adoptive mother's. And I was really, when I was reminded of that, I'm like, did we have a fucking bird? Like, I don't remember us having a bird, y'all. If we did, I'm sorry, I totally forgot. But I don't remember a bird. Like, something tells me there was a bird way, 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 way back. But for the most part, that bird cage was decoration, and like she was spray painted and But it's just so crazy because oh my God. In middle school, I got this nickname that was related to me loving Tweety Bird. Okay, they called me Tweet. My my friends in middle school, we all gave nicknames to each other, and I really loved Tweety Bird. So they started calling me Tweet Tweet for Tweety Bird, short for Tweety Bird. And you know, it's funny because some people will say, "Oh, maybe it was because of your head." Whatever, I don't care. Yeah, I got a big head. And you know what? When Rihanna came out, I said, "Ooh, look it, we both got big heads, big foreheads, whatever." But I didn't care. I always said, "Bigger head, bigger the brain." But no, my friends gave me that name because of I love Tweety Bird. So okay, so then it spread into my family, and literally my nieces, my nephews, everybody started calling me Tweet. To this day, my adopted sister calls me Tweet. Okay, it even followed me into work and all that stuff. Cause you know sometimes you're talking and you're telling a story and you accidentally say that, and then somebody was like, and then you say your name, and so people eventually, you know, oh, where'd that come from, or you know, or tell us a fun fact about yourself, that type of stuff. So yeah, it followed me just about everywhere. So I started becoming known as Tweet. Okay, so there's that. I just saw a shadow or something. I promise I did. This stuff is happening more and more. Or was it a gnat? I don't know. Okay, so then what happened? Okay, I was leaving a job. It was like my first. It was my first professional job, but it was like a very important job that I was doing, and I had created lots of connections because it was at the school that I used to go to as a undergraduate college student. So the job was post my graduation, right? So it was like 3 years I did that job, and it was a very heartfelt job. I talked about a job that I was doing. Okay, before I talked about my admissions job, but okay, when I say heartfelt job, so it included that job, which wasn't, I mean, it was great. It wasn't as heartfelt. The heartfelt job was another job I was actually doing at the same time. You could say it was part-time, but I always tell people it's full-time. At least full-time on the other heartfelt side. The admissions one was probably more part-time than not. Anyway, but it was all together full-time. But the heartfelt part was like running this program that was a part of just, it was a passion. It was very much so related to my passion, and I helped to create the program and all that stuff, and was taking care of people and my students and stuff. So anyway, when I was leaving that job for a similar job but more closer back to home, and it was to me more of a completion of this vision I always had, which was gaining these particular skills to then eventually take back to my home community and like assist my home community in this way with these particular set of skills, particularly in the foster youth community. So then I was moving back home to go and do that at this other job. Okay, when I was leaving, like you know, as a part of my departure, my boss we put together this like little like farewell you know thing, gathering. And it was funny because I guess to some other people, Black people, you know, we were in a place of scholarship, so this was kind of an issue in their eyes. It was a tone deaf thing that she had done, her not being a Black woman. She gave me a gift. It was a cage, a bird cage, y'all. It was a bird cage, and she had it. Her way of presenting it to me was, I was leaving the bird cage. I was flying now. So I had been caged and was leaving the bird cage. And like I tell y'all, my Black colleagues, they was like, they already had an issue with it, low-key. And they was like, because we had went out for drinks and stuff, and she was like, Has she not heard the why the cage bird sings? I guess it was pretty tone deaf. I kind of got what she was saying. She was playing off of my name and all that stuff. But I mean, it did. What for me, what it did was let me know, like, damn, she really had it in her mind in a way of like she had me caged. I wasn't. That didn't make me feel so good. But it was a cute gift. So there's that, right? So here's this bird cage thing again. And then eventually there became this realization of myself that I am like a bird, and like I need to be able to fly free whenever I feel the need to do so. So I guess you could also relate that to the fact that I've often referred to myself as a runner, and other people have too. So when that one song by Mooski came out, She's a Runner, She's a Track Star, I was like, God damn. He know me. I had to, who is this dude? Because it was on point. She's a runner, she's a track star. She gonna run away when it gets hard. But what they don't say about that song, I mean, I don't know, I'm not remembering all the details, but it only becomes that when after a while, okay, y'all, like after a while of somebody already having to deal with abuse or whatever it is, dysfunction, toxicity. I read a quote the other day. It was so great. It was related to it was something about like what did it say? It was something, I won't remember it verbatim, but it was something like, if you knew what somebody had to go through in order to get back to happiness and healing and all that after dysfunction and toxicity, and after going through whatever they've gone through, if you knew how hard it was for them to get back to themselves and gain control of their mental and all of that, you'd understand much better why they will cut off with a quickness, or why they will run like a track star, take off like a track star. You'll then understand, and so like it. I love that because I got some validation in my own, with my own decisions, to cut off many people, and I would say cut myself off from many people. Okay, cut them off, cut myself off, whatever. Just cut the cords of myself and most of the connections that I've experienced and been a part of in my life thus far. So with that runner, right, trait, definitely not really being a chaser, but more of a runner. If anything, chasing love, but running from that those situations that eventually show me that it's fake love, it's false love, it's toxic love, it's hard love, it's something wrong with this love, and they're running. So with that comes like this, for me, I like to think of it more as flying. I'm flying away. You can't keep me here. So there's this whole concept of this bird cages, being caged, being captured, right? Like, what do you put into cages? Things that are captured. Maybe your intention is to take care of it, like a pet or something like that. But I mean, come on, y'all, like as humans, we are not pets. And I remember having this, like, think that and say that to myself regarding my last connection that I've ended. And it was like, I'm not his pet. I can't be your pet. Like, I'm nobody's pet. And when I say that, what I mean is, just being like a comfort animal. I've had a comfort animal. I had a pet once before, and he was, I deemed him as my emotional support animal, even though I couldn't keep him that way because it was like, nah, this ain't working. Like, he needed more from me than what I was able to give, so it was actually giving me more anxiety, and like I was feeling so much shame and all that because I just wasn't able to be what I felt like I would want to be to anybody up under my care, and what I felt like he needed. He was a dog. His name was Pluto, and now he's in a very beloved home, I know. And so, what was I saying? Yeah, I was like, I can't be nobody's pet. You know, just call to come around when you need comforting, when you need solace, when you know. And it was crazy because I would get the same type of experience, the comfort, the solace, and that was one thing that kept me going back to this person or accepting them back or whatever. But then it's like that's not all that a relationship is about, you know, at least not one that I want to be a part of. So anyway, y'all, so even with that, it was like I gotta set myself free. I gotta fly. I must soar. You know, I often think of that one girl, the singer. I'm like a bird. I wanna fly away. I'm going slowly. I don't know the words, but yeah, I always did like that song. Okay, y'all. So yeah, this concept of this bird cage, and being free. Eventually, I came to really love, like, well, obviously when I was younger, I loved Tweety Bird, but then like I remember falling in love with the hummingbird just because it sang and it flew, and so I have a tattoo on my back of the hummingbird. Yeah, it's just really this concept of like the bird, the freedom of a bird that's really followed me throughout my life. Why did I start talking about bird cages? Well, I was talking about the bird cage that I grew up. Oh yes, this being caged and captured and then controlled and all that. I was talking about religion. Yeah, cause you know it's really a mind thing, right? Like how they say, like an elephant that's raised in captivity, like has no idea how strong and powerful it is. Like after being trained of being in handcuffs or cuffs, which that just resonates with something that was on my mind earlier today. Um, After being in cuffs for so long, it either forgets or just never realizes, is unable to realize its strength, its purpose, its abilities. You know, elephants are like some of the most powerful beings on earth. And unfortunately, like those that we see in the circus and stuff, like they don't know their true abilities. They don't know their true identity. And so I guess with that concept of even a bird cage, it's the same thing: handcuffs, bird cages, cages, prison cells. I mean, all of that, prison, just captivity. Period. Captivity. So for me, the form of captivity has always been best symbolized by a bird cage because my spirit is like that of a bird for real. So, I was talking about religion. Maybe I just need to move forward into what I was about to talk about, which was this, the concept of self-love, but in relation to youthfulness. I told y'all I got I don't know if it's a real term, but scattered brain syndrome is real, y'all. At least for me. Cause boy oh boy, I be on the track and then I be like, where did I start? But I guess you ain't really supposed to be worried about where you started. Just keep moving forward, checking along, cause just keep going. I just feel like there was a point I was trying to make, and I don't know if I made it. Cause I was talking about religion and not being, I said I'm not about the religion, I'm not about dogma. So with all that, I mean, yes, that's what it was. Sorry, goodness. That's what it was, where I was like, but I know in the past multiple times I've been swept up back into that type of state of mind, a mind of captivity, a mindset of captivity, where my thoughts are being limited, my ability to to, not my ability, but my allowance to think beyond these particular restrictions and stuff set in place is I'm there again. I'm back in the cage. It's happened multiple times where I'm expanding, and then before I know it, one thing leads to another, and I'm back. Of 2 times in the past, 2 times I've thrown out items and things that were for me, I was able to utilize as tools and resources and things that were I was able to utilize to progress in my spiritual awakening. And then we get to some fork in the road and be like, oh no, this stuff is bad, going back down this path. Now at 33 years old, I must ask myself, why did that keep happening, and why was it almost kind of about to happen again? And then I'm catching on. I mean, I've had some dreams lately. I've been seeing stuff online. I'm seeing patterns, and I'm like, it's like this threshold, y'all. And I had work earlier, and then I had went to the park to just chill at the park. While at the park, it just came over me like, there's this threshold that's been overcome. And I feel like in the past, I kept getting to this threshold and then turning back around. I kept getting to this one door, going through these series, these steps, and then getting to this one door and then turning around and being like, this ain't it. And I'm telling y'all, I had a dream where I was in like this location. It felt like a restaurant. And my mind wants to perceive what happened in 2 different ways. It's crazy. Initially, I perceived it as the place was getting raided, or like a robbery was about to happen. It was getting raided or something like that. And so I'm laying down and I can hear, but it's almost like I was anticipating it, because I'm laying down and I'm like, there's like the dead silence, like how they have in movies before a bomb goes off or before something really big happens. There's like this silence, this lull, and then it just swooshes on through, right? So that was something like what was going on. It was like I'm laying down, eyes closed, and I'm in fear, because I'm like, this is it. Like in the dream, my identity is that of somebody that's like, I've been fighting. I'm in this place, and it's like they coming to get me. Like they done found me. I got nowhere to run. But even though in the dream, I'm like, it's crazy, because I was like in a restaurant, like I feel like on a table or something. But then when I came to thinking about taking cover, I thought about the closet in my room. So that's crazy. But so it makes me kind of feel like it was a real thing happening, but I was asleep. But it was something that was really happening. But nobody ever came through. It was just an energy. It was like an energy of a raid, like as if people coming through to, like, I'm thinking of The Purge. The first Purge, that movie, so freaking dope. When they was raiding that apartment building, where the girl stayed and lived. I thought that was one of the most amazing scenes ever. And she's calling a dude and he's on his way, so freaking great. But it was so scary with the people that was doing the raiding. It was crazy, because it's like, damn, they coming off real scary, but they human, and it's like, they looked real scary. The military dudes, like, it was like just a really scary situation, because it was like they were pretending to be these other like this other opposition, but then it was like, hold up, wait a minute, this is military, right? And so I think that made it even scarier for me. Somebody is like, I'm sensitive. So anyway, yes, in the dream it was like this energy came rushing through of a raid, but there were no people. But I'm in my mind in the dream, I'm like, they're coming, right? And I remember I was on the table and I go like that because I was scared because it was, oh goodness gracious. So my mind perceived it, the dream first is that, like, that's what I saw, but then also in another way it perceived it as like the mind was being cleared of this mind control energy, this brainwashing energy, or something like that. It's so hard to describe, but I feel like that's why it's more so for me. It's nothing really for me to like preach about or nothing like that. It's for me, so that's the best I could do to describe it. So what I have realized is that ever since that dream, like even the next day, trying to go to sleep, I had a headache. Or no, I woke up. Ooh, it wasn't the next day. Not long after that, I woke up with a headache. Had a very strong headache. I'm even getting one now. But I had a really great day ahead of me. I had this meeting set up, this lunch meeting set up with a great friend, and just really good stuff going on. And it was so funny because then something happened at the restaurant. Y'all, I just put restaurant. We went to a restaurant. The dream, I was in a restaurant. And while at this restaurant, in real life, this person came for me. But you see, maybe I'll talk about it. Damn, I didn't even put the two together. While at this restaurant, this was yesterday, but the dream was like 2 nights ago, right? While at this restaurant, my friend is treating me out for lunch. We've been trying to make it happen. Finally made it happen, right? So my friend is treating me out to lunch. The waitress, my friend is like, get whatever you want, right? The waitress starts off, the meeting and everything with letting us know of a special that was occurring. And then I was like, ooh, does that occur with these items? And then she's like, no. I'm like, okay. And then after she walked away, my friend was like, it don't matter, you can get whatever you want. And I'm like, okay. Right? So, y'all, this has never happened to me before, but I know what type of energy has been occurring around me now. So even though it took me a while to realize that this was some entity energy of opposition to me, because who does that? I don't know this girl, and I'm over here trying like, do I know this girl? You know what I mean? Even if I did, this is what happened. I can't believe I'm just okay, this is what happened. Okay, so then she goes to, we didn't order, we hadn't ordered yet. We just ordered drinks. So during that, she lets us know about the special. And then I'm like, does that apply to these two? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, just don't hurt to ask. So she leaves, and my friend's like, it doesn't matter anyway, get whatever you want. You can get whatever you want. And I'm like, okay. So we order, figure out what we want, And she comes back, we order, okay? She comes back, and she's like, did you want to know how much or did you note the price on what I ordered? And I'm like basically asking me, like, do you know how much that costs? Like, do you know the price of that? Like, do you need to know the price? I was taken back. I'm like, okay, but I'm like, She's basically trying to confirm with me that I'm aware of how much what I ordered cost. And that has never happened. I'm a customer service type of person. I don't see myself doing that, right? So I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay. Or I don't even know how she ended it, because at that point I'm like, what? My friend is like, what did she just ask you how much it costs, or are you aware? Why did she ask you that? I said, and I'm so good at trying to play stuff off just to like get rid of awkward moments, I think. So well, sometimes. So then I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe she was just, I think it's because the difference between the two side of the price, the two sizes, it's just so close together. I don't know. And he's like, my friend's like, I don't know, right? Look, and then when we get done eating, some of it is to go and all that. I let her know like he's ready for the ticket, and then she this is a common question. It's common to ask this, but I promise y'all, in the way of the energy, and I promise I'm in my space of naivety, okay? I'm in my naive space. I'm just enjoying the conversation. I'm enjoying my friend. It's been so long since I've seen him. I'm in my space of rose-colored lenses. Look, most of the time I'm walking around with rose-colored lenses on, like not thinking that somebody is just being in a negative way towards me for no reason. Like, what did I do to you? So I don't always catch on right away, right? Not always, at least not when it's to me, but when it's to somebody else, I can catch on real fast. Right? I'm like, they got you messed up, they got me messed up, right? But I'm in my space of like, la la la, right? Like that, which often gets me into just, I guess, some trouble in a sense. So anyway, y'all, I'm not thinking of the girl in a negative way at all. Like, she was being a really good waitress, I felt, and even my friend was pointing it out. Like, I like her. She asked, and this is an older friend, so very aware of like manners and stuff like that, right? So just pointing all that out, and I'm like, yeah. So then, but when she came to ask, when I told her like we were ready for the ticket, I think it's cool to ask. It's okay to ask, like, is it separate together? That's totally fine, because there's been times when I've been out with somebody and then it's like, oh shit, we wanted it separate and then got it together, right? But in the energy that she asked the question, it was very like, again, it was kind of like that same energy of, do you know how much this costs? Like, like, it's almost like if you in a store and you a black person, right? And and it's that whole little situation of the whole like, oh, this is a boutique, or this is a high-end fashion, and and you getting followed around, or somebody asking you like, oh, can you afford that type of shit. This was a black woman though. That's why I don't go by what you look like. I don't, because it's all about the spirit. It's all about the entity that is possessing you, at that moment. I'm sorry, it don't matter how you look. So, but of course I didn't expect this, right? But now I'm remembering my dream. I came on here to talk about self-love. But look, so the energy she gave off though when she's like, together or separate, like, it was the way there was an energy with it. And it takes just a half of a second to spot it, right? Or it takes just a half of a second to do it. But it can land. It still will land. You can drop a small little piece of paper on the table. Now, if it's dropping, you're not going to probably see it while it's dropping. But when it hit that table, you're going to know that it hit. Drop of water, anything sprinkle. It's like that, right? It's like, shit, that was a sprinkle. It's about to rain, right? Like, so even when my friend responded like, together, like, it was like that, like, together. Like, he had the card in his hand and everything. So, and then in my mind now I'm hearing like, and that was the end of that. So when I was talking about the dream, and me, I was in a restaurant and this energy came through, but I ended up being okay, you know. And if anything, it was like a clearing, but there was this energy. So maybe there was energy coming through that was for negative, but also this clearing coming through that was this, I'm safe, I'm good. Because my friend is not a problem. This is a very good person, very good human being. Like, a newer friend in my life from that I met within the last year, but really good person, a human being, you know, so far from what I've been able to discern, you know, and also a very innocent platonic friendship as well, you know, somebody who I see more like an uncle or like a godfather type of being, you know, very filled with wisdom, has been helping me when possible, like in terms of just, you know, approaching dating life and stuff like that, you know, advice and all that. A grandfather, a great grandfather, this friend is. So, you know, it was nothing crazy, but then also you know, there's no reason for me to look at him in a negative light so far that I can think of. But this person, this waitress, you know, as positive and as good as she was, like, he even went to make sure he gave her a good tip. That energy, it was that those actions, especially the one of basically saying like, are you aware of how much this costs? Like, and you know, again, my rose-colored lenses, I feel like somebody who is not like me, that would have been like, say if I was to be on the like the observing end, I would have probably even been like, well, why did you ask her that? What made you ask her that? You know, type of thing. Like, probably would have had to be like, call your manager over. Why? What's the point? But like I said, I don't know if it was in my mind. I'm like, maybe it was because I asked about the little special thing or whatever. Like, she's like, oh, we have a special on our whatever. And I'm like, oh, does that apply to these? Because it was just like a different type of product, but similar. It was a different version of the product that she was talking about. So I'm like, oh, what about these? You know, she's like, no. I'm like, okay. You know, just asked. So anyway, y'all, I thought that was very interesting. But I kind of like obviously had like kind of let it go. But well, it did come back up. Like, when I got home, as I just processed things. It made me realize like, oh wow, like entities are real. Because I didn't feel like I could blame the girl. I just felt like it was an entity that's like, you know, been like a spiritual entity that's kind of been like after me, you know, and wanting to like rub in a wound of mine when it comes to like finances and like hard times, you know, because that's been a thing. But it's also, I'm also like just handling my business, you know. So like, I've been meeting people who be like, yeah, girl, life happens, that's life, you know, that type of thing. So I almost feel like there's just, I think in the spiritual sense, I've been demonstrating so much strength and resilience and refusal to bow down, refusal to give up, refusal to give in and go back and revert and all of that stuff, that it's like, oh, okay. And I've gotten some wisdom from some YouTube spiritualists as well, like listening to their stuff, where it's like entities will be trying to come for whatever areas that might appear to be as cracks or wounds or areas that are unhealed for you, basically, like, you know, like insecure spots, triggers, you know, where they can try to get you feeling shameful, sad, self-loathing, disappointed in yourself, opposite of self-loving, you know. And They'll come and, oh gosh, Solara Speak, she talked about this. Shout out to Solara Speak. She talked about strangers, entities using strangers, people from your past, sending forces to use strangers to get at you in that type of way, but it ain't gonna work. And so it's crazy because the way I feel about today, and that was yesterday, the way I feel about today is, besides this lady just coming asking me for some money, and I had to tell her, like, look, baby, not today. I've given her money before, but I'm like, you'll have to catch me another time, maybe. Definitely don't care. I don't want to be seen as nobody's personal ATM, because that was not the first time she came, and before I actually gave her something for her birthday. It was her birthday, but you ain't come back, tell me I need a loan. I'm like, oh, me too. No shame. And so I think that's the thing that those entities and those forces try to go. Because I tell y'all, there's been this energy coming after me that's like, I want her to be in need so that she comes to me and I can reject her, type of thing. So that she comes to me and I can turn her away. I promise you there's been that energy. Oh gosh, just the concept of the word need. Like, people, I want to say people, but then I don't. People wants to be, that's the term that wants to come out. But it's more of, okay, I guess it's just an update, y'all. I'm sorry. It's more of an entity, force. Referring to the Bible, the battle is not of the flesh. This is not verbatim, but it's basically like we're not battling flesh, humans, blood. It's a spiritual situation. So whoever spiritual, whoever's demons, whatever that's been coming after me has been wanting me to. The way I see it in my head is get on my knees and beg somebody for some shit. And I'm going to tell y'all what I think. See, this is how I battle my spiritual opposition. I talk. I don't know what it is that is in the vibration of my voice, but this is how I battle. So this is why I talk. Okay? Because there was a time where I could not speak. So I do feel like it is my spiritual power to talk. The times that I've battled the most has been the times when, even in high school, I was a really great debater. I was on the debate team, and I was so good at it. So good at it. Not even exaggerating. I was really good at it. Won competitions and stuff, So, it's for me, it's my talking. I feel like divine people, we're going to be discovering what is it, or not we're going to, but a part of living as a divine soul here with more of a with a purpose that is more than just existing, but a part of it is finding what is your gift, what is it, what's your superpower, what's your I just thought of Jumanji. Oh my gosh. And I often think about that movie as far as it trying to tell us more than what just face value, which to me, again, everything is always trying to do that. So for me, it's like, what's my powers? When you press on my chest, what comes up? One of mine is gonna be talking. Speak up. Oh gosh, all this stuff I'm just connecting so many dots. I can't share them all because then I'll be on here for like 2 hours. But that's one of my things, right? When I first had to walk away from and walk away and also cause like a mutual discarding between me and my adoptive mother, it was because I spoke. It was all voice, okay, and it was all talking. But it was like finally speaking up and speaking out. Even growing up in church, I remember somebody telling my adopted mom or me, or both of us, like I should seek to be a professional, like orator. I will be it, but I can't say it. But and I always have love microphones. Like, I rap and sing a little bit. I always say I sing a little bit, but I rap. But look, it ain't even about all of that. It's just being on the microphone. I talked all the time. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, so like talking like that's how I fight back. And you know what? Oftentimes that's all you gotta do is say something. Say the word. Say the word. I remember one of my first like biggest fights on my it was my only street fight, like the only fight I ever had in the street. I put it that way. It didn't start because I told my friend to say the word and she said the word, but this was us like fighting back. This girl that just kept coming for me, and then eventually we was face to face in the street, and she was just delaying and what are you doing? Wanting to wait till we got to school and all that. I'm like, and mess up my education because I was a nerd. I was. So I'm like, psh. I told my friend, I said, because I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't understand. Because she wasn't hitting me, you know what I mean? And usually I wouldn't respect, hitting somebody first, but this girl was coming for me. She kept coming for me. She kept coming for me. And then wanted to threaten to, oh, well, I'm going to handle you at school. And it's like, I'd rather not. I have stuff to do for real, unlike you. I got places to go. No, but anyway, in regards to the word, I told my friend, I said, say the word. Because I'm like, what are we about to do with this chick right here? Like, she had a posse. Me, I just had my friend, Kayla, who, by the way, was one of my middle school friends that assisted in naming me Tweet Tweet. And her name was KK. And she was like my sister. I miss her. Oh. But anyway, it was just me and her. And at one point, it was me by myself because she had to go put up her baby sister. Came back walking down the street, and it was just me and her. And this girl had her so-called posse who actually turned on her after she got beat up. Ain't that crazy? But anyway, my friend, she was saying, I'm like, because it's like a standstill now. And I'm like, and, the girl's posse was actually like low-key starting to clown her because she was the one attacking me. So they're like, hit her. Like, you don't want to fight her. Like, she don't even want to fight. She don't even know what you're fighting her for. She made up a whole story just to fight me. But I think she wanted to do it at school to put on a show. And it's just like, sorry, I'm not that girl. Like, I go to class, I do work, I study, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a good student. The principal and all them like me, for real. Shoot, like, we can handle this street stuff in the street, but you ain't messing with my school shit. You know what I mean? I took that too serious. So anyway, I just remember telling my friend to like say the word because I was getting tired of this chick, for real. And I was starting to get really annoyed because it's like, I'm really nice, but I'm not no punk. So what do you want? Like, you got us in the street. You got my full-blown attention. I'm here. Why is you talking about waiting till we go to school the next day and we're right here and you live around the corner from me, da 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 da. So I just remember there was like, again, this this dead silence or whatever, nobody doing nothing. And so I just took it in my own hands. And I told my friend, because here I am, like, again, I'm not an attacker. I'm not about to attack you, but this got to be handled ASAP. So I told my friend, I said, say the word. If you say the word, then I told y'all she was like my sister. Say the word. And she was like, I forget what she said, but she told me whatever she needed to tell me, and I hit the girl. I hit her. We started fighting, and I beat her up. But I just want to say, for the sake of making sure it is made clear of who I am, afterwards, I was sincerely trying to help the girl because it was just something I felt I had to do. I didn't want to do it. And I realized she was bleeding from her nose and she was looking for her hair tie, and I found her hair tie. Apparently nobody else saw the hair tie. I'm like, wow. I saw it. I picked it up. I gave it to her. And it was like, I didn't want to do that. I had to. So now I'm back to myself. Like, what's up? And we used to be friends, so it wasn't hard for me to get back to that place. But that's literally how that happened. I felt a little bad because her nose was bleeding. And I guess I blacked out because I didn't. Anyway, I'm just saying, it was the whole concept of say the word, right? Sometimes all we need to do is say the word. Sometimes all we need to do is speak up. Just say one word, And now I'm thinking of it as, like, say it's your ancestors waiting on you to just say the word. To just say the word. And what I've been learning, y'all, that I promise y'all, this threshold of this door that they don't want us to go through. And I say they, meaning the powers that be, the people who know these secrets, who have the keys to the kingdom that Jesus came through to talk to call them out about. They're not Sadducees, Pharisees, the teachers, the preachers, the pastors, the leaders, the worship, the evangelists, those folks who got the keys to the kingdom. They know how to find the keys to their kingdoms, right? Jesus said the kingdom is inside of you. They done found it, and then what they don't want to, they don't want to get the keys to you. They don't want you to have the keys to find your kingdom and to take, oh my goodness, to get into position in your kingdom as if you're hurting theirs. So I promise it's these keys that they don't want us to get. So you get to this door, and I know I'm not the only person who's experienced this. You get to this door and you realize maybe it's multiple locks on the door, and maybe you got some of the keys for some of the locks. And as you're trying to get through, this force is coming through, trying to mess with you, trying to eat at your wounds, trying to spit on your scars, trying to make you feel shame and self-loathing and take away your self-love and and erase everything that you've been learning through your mind, everything you've been learning, trying to erase it from your mind control, brainwashing. Okay, and I've seen some examples of this happening with people who exist out here. I've been seeing it online. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This person that was so outspoken and all, and now he talking like they done took him up. Get Out. The movie Get Out. It's real, y'all. It's so fucking real. Oh my goodness. It's so real. The mind control, the brainwashing. And I swear, like, I'm so not exaggerating, because now that I start talking about the restaurant, me in the restaurant in the dream, and this energy coming through, and my mind perceiving the dream as that, like, oh, I'm about to be attacked, but there was no attack. I don't remember seeing no people. But in my mind, I'm thinking, as I'm laying on the table, oh, the military men coming through, purge, the first purge type shit. But then on the other side of things, there was this same feeling of this whoosh energy. I don't know how better to describe it, coming through my mind to what I realized, cleanse it, clear it. I've won that battle. If not that war, I'm hearing that war, baby. That war has been won. The war for your mind, for the self-control of your own mind. And if any type of control is occurring, it's from the God that lives within you. It's by the God that lives within you, the Christ that lives within you, and supported and protected by the ancestors around you in the form of those that we like to call angels and demons. They protecting you being of their lineage, bloodline, legacy. The war is won. And the door, the threshold has been crossed. I got the keys to my kingdom. I got the keys. Ooh, what song is that? Is it Future? I got the keys. I think it's Future. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. But you know? And that's what life is about, y'all. It's not about which religion is the right religion, which doctrine is the right doctrine. The only doctrine that's the right doctrine is the doctrine that's within you. You realizing that you are God incarnated. You are. God lives within you, and so does Christ. And the story of Jesus is to assist us in getting there. And y'all, with 5 minutes left, because I'm not going past the hour, so actually like 4 minutes left. One of the things that I've been mulling over in my mind is that of why was it when Jesus was on the cross and he said, what they tell us is that he said, Abba, why have you forsaken me, or something like that. And me growing up, the words were, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? I have always wondered, why did that happen? What was that about? Jesus knew what he was talking about. He wasn't confused. He said, Father, you're separate from me. What's going on? We're supposed to be one. And I'm realizing it, y'all. And look, this is going to continue to grow and develop for me in my spirit as I remain obedient to the divine spirit that lives within me and that protects me on the outside. I'm focusing more on the within, okay, these days, which I think I would encourage as many people as possible to do. My where I'm at right now with that is, yes, he was forsaken by that God. Why? Because this was an external situation. This was an external God. It was like, if he said, Father, Father, what I'm getting, and look, I'm learning on my spiritual journey as I go. He said, Father, Father, this was his stepfather. They take it as that. This was like his stepfather. Okay, this was not his real father, because his real father lives within. His real God lives within. This is growing. It's a seed of knowledge and wisdom that has been growing within me. It's not at full bloom yet, but that's where I've been with that, because I have yet to get comfortable with that part of the story of Jesus. Now that I know how to absorb the story of Jesus, and and there's just something there that never has set well with me. Like, what's that about? Why don't we go deeper into that in Bible study and stuff? And they never did. Not in churches I grew up in, grew up going to. So, but there is something coming through to me about quit looking up, quit looking around, look within. And Jesus said that. He said that. He said, if they tell you that the kingdom of heaven is over there, if they tell you that God is coming or whatever, look there, over there. He said, they're lying. Look within. Go within. It's an individual situation. You don't have to be a part of some organization, whatever, over here, over there. It's all within. Everything is within that you're looking for. All of it is to be birthed and come from within to then come on the outside. Represented by what? A woman who gives birth to babies in life. Ooh, come through, Empress energy, okay? Woo! All right, y'all. I don't want to take this, like I said, past an hour, but I must say I feel like I've passed a threshold. I've gotten through the door finally, and I can't go back. I'm not going back. There is no going back. There's been this cleansing that has occurred, and we're moving forward. And I want to say, if you feel that force that's trying to pull you back, that's trying to keep you from getting through the door to your kingdom, your kingdom, that you are to inherit as an incarnated being of God, with God also within you. Fight against that. Go within again. I'll be back on to speak about this more the next time I feel moved to get on and do a video. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate it. And if you are enjoying my videos, I appreciate that too. I'm just sharing what comes to me as I go. And I'll be back on at another time soon also to talk more about self-love. But that's what wanted to come out. So, that's it. All right, y'all. Bye. All right, till next time.